All right, enough Euros. How about some quick hits instead?
Let's go, Gab.
Goals from Julien Alvarez. And apparently, after a long review, it took me a long time to figure this out.
Yeah.
Lionel Messi gave Argentina a 2-0 win over Canada. Jules, your thoughts?
I was not impressed. I won't lie.
Not good.
Not good. But they haven't been good in this tournament. We've said that. We've said that before.
Some love for Uncle Jesse?
Yeah, no, and I think Canada. I've really liked what I've seen from Canada. And again, this is maybe a bit too early in the Jesse Marsch tenure for some of the squads, some of the players. I expect them to be really good in 2 years' time for their own World Cup. But this is a great experience. This is a great learning curve. And for Argentina, you win those games with the kind of like know-how that you have, really. You don't really panic. And you find a way to win them without being brilliant. And that's all they care about. In another final, it will be Angel Di Maria last game for Argentina. It might even be Messi's last game for Argentina too.
Stop saying that.
True.
Stop saying
so let's see, and good luck to them. Colombia play most of the second half with 10 men, but still be Uruguay with a goal by Jefferson Lerma, and yet another assist from James Rodríguez. Gab, this was hard fought.
So first of all, James Rodríguez, 6 assists in this tournament. It is absolutely. You want a throwback.
On
you want to
set
see
pieces. It's just that quality in set pieces.
You want to see what football used to look like? Just watch James Rodríguez. He's like a visitor. He's like a time traveler. Yeah, I thought this was really disappointing from Uruguay. Bielsa giving it the big one before that, blah, blah, blah. And then Colombia, who arguably have played the best football in this tournament.
28. And beaten in 28 games. Colombia.
Yeah, I thought they were stupid red card from Munoz on Ugarte. Again, guys, there's VAR. If you go and you elbow the guy in the stomach, even if it gets a little wussy elbow, you know that you're going to get sent off.
So
why do it?
It has been so good in this Copa America. It's just so strange.
I don't know. He's following the Tim Weah book of football.
Yeah.
But then even against 10 men, Uruguay struggled. You saw Suarez came on, hit the post, but that wasn't enough. So disappointing from Uruguay. Well-deserved from Colombia. I'm really psyched for this final.
Yeah.
So this sets up an Argentina-Colombia final and a clash between two Argentines, Lionel Scaloni and Nestor Lorenzo. Jules, how do we see this going?
I think it's going to be great. This is the best team that Argentina would face in this tournament. The team that plays the best football, as you said. The team that has so much confidence, unbeaten in 28. We've said that already. With match winners, from James to Luis Diaz, for example. I think Munoz not being there is a problem. But you can't say that. You can't count out Argentina because they have Messi and because they have that kind of experience.
And Demi Martinez.
And they've been incredible. Extra time is back for the final, which is something good to know, because as much as we hate going straight from 90 minutes to penalties, at least they have another half an hour. But yeah, it should be great.
We will probably be watching that game on delay on the plane flying back to London.
That's right. And back to that Colombia-Uruguay game. There were ugly scenes right at the end. Clashes in the stands between Uruguay players, Colombia fans. What happened?
So, yeah, this is some pretty wild stuff. You can see, essentially, Darwin Núñez wading into the crowd, getting
Araujo as well,
getting punched in the face by somebody. So, this tournament's been dogged by massive disorganization, and it's been an issue. And CONMEBOL, who are the South American Confederation, they're the organizers of the tournament. I don't know if it's down to familiarity with the stadiums. It's been an issue. It's been an issue of pricing. It's been an issue with empty seats. In this case, they took the odd decision, I think, of seating the families of the Uruguayan players directly behind the Uruguayan bench, which meant that they're surrounded by random fans. Now, you know this.
Well, that's the case in the Euros as well. The families are behind the benches of the two teams.
I don't think so. I don't think...
the French have always been behind the bench. And after the game, the French players come and can go into the stands. The stand is so close to where the bench is.
Okay, then maybe there's a different level of security.
Maybe, yeah.
Certainly for club games, they're not seated. The family members are not seated generally in most stadiums behind the bench. They're seated elsewhere. The issue here is they're right there. They obviously there was enough security. As the story goes, and we're only just getting the details. They're getting insults, taunts from Colombia fans. They answer them. An argy-bargy breaks out. Yeah. Obviously, if I'm a Uruguayan player on the pitch and I see your family,
you go in.
I'm going to run out there. In the U.S., with all the security, all the doodads they have, the fact that they're really good at organizing events, I've never seen something like this
Me
happen,
neither.
and it shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're going to ask some serious questions because people could have really gotten hurt.
Yeah.
French FA have confirmed that Didier Deschamps is staying at least through the 2026 World Cup. Jules, I know that the narrative is that when Deschamps goes, Zinedine Zidane will take over and all will be fine. But by that point, Zizou won't have worked for 5 years.
Surely he's going to take a job before that. I mean, I respect for him if he wants to wait, and he's really happy now in his life. He wants to go back into football, but I think he's also really enjoying what he's doing, which is he gets invited to all the best gigs in the world. Like everywhere he goes to, in Le Mans, he goes to Formula One, he goes to the tennis, he goes to the football, he goes everywhere. But I think he still wants to coach. So I would have liked him to take over Deschamps. I think 12 years, as we said earlier, is a long time for a national team head coach. Maybe too long. But if he wants that job, he'll have to wait another 2 years. That's how it is.
Roll on 2028, Zizou.
And meanwhile, Greg Berhalter, our friend, has been fired as coach of the US men's national team. I guess their review suggested that they think somebody else can do a better job.
I guess so. There was a strong backlash to the U.S. Obviously, people make such a big deal. Oh, first Copa America host to be eliminated in home soil. I think they did not play well, even in that Panama game. Look, I don't have an issue with holding people to account, and if you think you can go and get somebody better, Berhalter, I think, has got the third highest winning percentage of any. He's got the highest winning percentage of any U.S. coach in history.
Right.
And you can say that means nothing because you play in CONCACAF against the Muppet Show, except for Mexico, and this is a really bad Mexico team, whatever. Maybe. But I always think you should make these decisions based on whether you can upgrade, not based on whether the person deserves it, did a good job in those 3 games. You have to have. I hope they made a decision. Based on that. And
would you have kept him after the Qatar World Cup then? Because they kept him there.
100%.
You would think.
Well, when they reach the quarterfinals.
Last 16. But this was after the World Cup was the start of this new 2022 to 2026, and now they've cut that through halfway. So
I just look at the players.
Like, why giving him that job for another 4 years to go to the Euro World Cup if it's after 2 years? I know it was disappointing, this Copa America, but overall
it's one of those stupid decisions. I mean, look, the only way you can do it is you have to ask yourself, okay, Pulisic's supporting cast, right? This golden generation, which there's nothing golden about them except for Pulisic. Do I have faith that he can work with McKennie? McKennie can turn it around. Adams can turn it around. All these guys can. Reina, obviously the obvious one, right? And if the answer is no, then maybe you make a change. But I just don't see the basis of it.
I know.
Everybody wants Lille teenage sensation Lenny Euro, apparently. Jules, it seems like a head-to-head between Manchester United and Real Madrid.
It seems like that because Real Madrid, certainly Manchester United have agreed terms with Lille for the transfer, around 45 million euros. He's got only 1 year left on his contract. And the agreement was that he can leave now this summer, and Lille wants a bit of money back for him. He went through the academy. He has been incredible since making his debut at 16 even, playing regularly at 17. Incredible talent. Right now he prefers Real Madrid than United. He wants to play in the Champions League, for example, where obviously United are not. And I think there's quite a lot of confidence in Madrid that it will happen. They are talking with Lille. I can't see it being a problem. I
go back to this. Why not just sit around, wait a year, and go there as a free agent? And
no. He wants Lille to get some money in, and I think that's to his credit.
What a nice boy.
No, that's to his credit. Speaking of United, the Times reports that they've had another bid for Jaron Bradford rejected, £50 million this time, but they're preparing a third bid. Gabby, how high will they go, and should they go for him?
I think you can go higher. You can go to 55. You can maybe even go to 60. But then at some point, you got to draw a line under it. And certainly Everton's financial situation should come into play here, which is why I wouldn't go too much higher. Jules, there was much doom and gloom over the Ligue 1 TV rights and the impact it would have on clubs. Now it looks like some bids are in. Is there light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, maybe the zone. I've put a bid in. I mean, quite low. It's 375 million euros.
They were hoping for $1 billion, right?
Yeah, exactly. A long time ago. For the 8 best games of every weekend, I don't know. There's still a possibility that.
Sorry, the 8 best games out of 9.
Yeah.
So there's just one game,
and then
just
you
an
sell
absolute
the other one. Yeah, and then who's going to buy that one?
Exactly.
You know. But we'll see. That's the possibility that Ligue 1 create their own channel as well, obviously. Manchester United's account revealed that it cost the club around £40 million in legal fees and other fees to sell Jim Ratcliffe his minority stake. Gab, you always have nice things to say about lawyers. That's a lot of money.
It is an enormous amount of money. Like, I know that the guy paid, what was it, 1.3 billion, 1.25 billion
for
his 27% stake.
27.
But, and I know you got to write up contracts and everything, but I mean, seriously, 40
How can you
million?
justify all that money?
You know, and by the way, you know who pays this? It's not like Ratcliffe pays it.
No.
It's not like the Glazers pay it. This is money that goes into Manchester United's account. And they're laying a whole bunch of people off, as you know, to cut costs. To me, this makes little sense, but there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense about United. Marco Correa was booed every single time he touched the ball in that Spain-France semi-final. But it wasn't French, or obviously Spanish fans booing him, Jules. It was Chelsea fans. No, just kidding. It was Germany fans who were there. This was weird.
Loud, so loud as well.
It was so... I
felt for him.
I mean, like, to explain this, obviously... It's a semi-final.
Right? Yeah.
There's the tournament is in Germany. I'm sure there was a lot of German fans who bought tickets thinking Germany were going to be there.
They would have been had they beaten Spain, obviously, in the quarterfinals.
And they don't like Cucurella because of the penalty.
Yeah.
But dude, it's not Cucurella's fault.
I know. And then the Spanish fan was trying to go like Cucurella, and you could not hear anything because the boos was so big. And you're right, there was a lot of German fans. You could see everybody in white anyway was German because they had the German shirt on. So you see white, you saw white,
I'm
more white than
France
blue or
fans
red.
didn't seize the opportunity to join in on the booing.
We fair play. We're good people. Gav, quite a story out of Brazil. Who is Rogério Barbosa da Silva Gomes? And why are we talking about him?
So Paris Saint-Germain have just signed him for 120. No, just kidding. Rogério, or as he's better known as R6.
R6. Okay, that's
R6. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's the head of a gang called Bonde do Maluco in Salvador in the north of Brazil. And he made the very bad decision of attending a game between Bahia against Palmeiras. Apparently they have facial recognition software. And so they saw him. They picked him out of the crowd. I was shocked. I thought this is the kind of stuff that happens in China, like with the Uyghurs. But hey, maybe not. But more power to them. Yeah,
no
apparently.
Way.
Just I don't know.
Don't go to a football match if you're a gangster.
Yeah, or get some surgery or something to conceal your identity. Jules, this brings us to an end, but this is our last show, we said, from Scaling Spaces.
Yeah.
But we're going to come back on Monday
for the last
after the final of the Copa America and the final of the Euros and the last show of the 2023-24 Gab and Jules season. Until then, love the game, love your neighbor, love yourself.